Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. We are sitting here at the back end of my new Subaru, and I've just got a hitch put on it, a 2-inch receiver hitch at U-Haul. If you ever get a hitch put on, you want to do it at U-Haul. They're fantastic. They do it so well. Every hitch I've ever put on, it's been at U-Haul. So, but I got this new hitch, and it has a problem which all hitches had. Without exception, every hitch I've ever owned has done this. Let me cover your ears because it's noisy, and watch what it does. Oh joy! Now, if you put enough weight on this, say you got a trailer that's kind of heavy, then most of that's going to go away because the weight will set on it. But if you have a really light trailer, which I pull a really light trailer with this, it's this all the way down the road. That's how I feel. The whole way I'm driving down the road with this thing on there until I get somewhere and put some weight on it, and then it mostly goes away. But if you have a regular basket that goes back here, if you've ever driven behind it, you probably haven't, but your friends will tell you, and if you've driven behind any others, the basket's sitting there going like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you watch that happen and you think, you're going to tear your car up, you're going to tear the hitch up, what's going on? Can't I prevent this? It's 2024, for heaven's sakes. We've got men on the moon. We're aiming for Mars. We can't fix that? Well, it turns out we can, and that's what this video is all about. So I've known of several devices that we're supposed to use it, and I've ordered one of each, and I think they all work. But this was the simplest. It came in this sack. This is the whole thing. Came in this sack. It's 3 parts. It's a little piece of metal with a nut tacked on, welded on. It's a bolt that goes in, and then you screw it into that nut. So that's part 2, and then it's got a big heavy-duty lock washer. That's part 3, so the lock washer goes on there so it won't just back out, and then it screws in. And then it's got a little teeny tiny cotter pin. So let me show you how it works. I've played with it just enough to think it can really work and do a good job. So you just pull the pin out, this is standard, or you might have a lock on yours, which would make good sense, and you pull that out. So this only works on a open, you can see me right through there. On some of them, this is solid. This is a solid piece of metal, much heavier, of course. But usually we're going to have empty open ones, and if you don't, you're going to have to replace it, or this won't work, because, of course, it's going to slide down in here. And you're going to keep sliding it down in here until the nut lines up with, I'm just pushing it with something, and there's the nut. So then you take the bolt through it and just go in, and of course the bolt will come out the other side, but because it's threaded, that's as far as it goes. So now you just start screwing it down. So that's how you're going to do it, but it has to be in the receiver before you start doing this. So I'm just demonstrating this for you. And now, to do it for real, it has to be in the receiver. So this is lined up, and you line it up just like you would at any other time if you were going to use this pin. But instead of this pin, we're going to use this bolt. Okay, so I'm going to push it in and watch. And when that becomes visible, there it is. I just put it through, and then you just screw it on. So I'm just screwing it on there. I could have reversed this, I guess. But you can see it's coming out. So this is all you need, just a little 6-inch adjustable wrench. It's got to be open as big as that. Or if you have a socket set, whatever you have. But it doesn't have to be anything special. All you got to do is be able to, turn it and get it to get tighter. Until you get it really tight. And I got it pretty good and tight. Now, do you remember how loose that was? Watch how loose it is now. I'm shaking the car. Look, if you can see, probably see the car's moving up and down. and it's not rattling. So I am very, very optimistic that that's going to solve that problem. And they give you this as a safety feature. They give you a little Carter pin so that even if all the bolts, if all the threads strip out, you still have something. You know, that's going to hold the thing in there even if all the threads strip out, which I'm sure they won't. So that, as you saw, should work really, really well. So if you're carrying a bike rack or a hitch haul or even a little trailer, I think this is going to make your life a lot better. And it was really, really simple. Okay, so for the name of this thing, it's a Chinese thing. The name is Let's See. It's actually spelled just like it sounds. L-E-T-S-Y-E-E on Amazon. And it's $15, $14.99, and there's a $2 off coupon right now. And who knows how long it'll be, but it's about $15, between $10 and $15. There are other brands. This isn't the only one. So you have a lot of choices. But there'll be a link in the description below, and I think this is a really good thing. That seemed to work super well. So another thing I ordered, I want this to work. Okay, I spent the money. We're going to compare. I'm going to find out which one works. This is made by MaxxHaul. It's a 2-inch hitch tightener. Now, it's a little, I've bought other ones before, and I'll show you a standard one here in a minute. This one's a little different, quite a bit different, actually, because, you know, that looks like a standard, if you've ever seen a kryptonite bike lock, that's what that looks like. To me, that just looks like a kryptonite bike lock. But it does something a little bit different than most of these do. So this is in, I've got the pin on it. What's going to happen is this is going to sit out here, and it's got then these bag of nuts, and that's very unusual. So this one doesn't even need a wrench. It's kind of strange. I've never seen anything quite like it, but that's the one problem I had. I've had devices like this before, and they kept coming loose, and I was all the time tightening it. So my thought is they're doing this so that it's really easy to retighten. And the other one is, boy, this is a good nut to prevent that. It's got, I don't know if you can see that very well, but this really tightens, this makes it very hard for nuts to come loose. That's specifically what that's for. Now this will go down here. I assume it goes like this. This is the whole set of instructions, one picture. It's got this great big collar. That's what this is called, a collar. And that's what we're going to go up against. So it's going to go down like this and across like that. I'm exaggerating. And then this is going to come up like this. So you can start it out here. So I'm going to drop the washer on, and then you're going to put down the lock washer, and then you're going to screw on this thing. You're just going to get it started. Boy, that's nice. Just get it started. And then on this one, you're going to put down the washer, and you're going to put the knurled end up against it, and that will bite into the... Okay, so those are just on. They're just loose. So I've got all this assembled. You know, it's loose. And then I'm just going to put it down over the ball, slide it forward until it's this top part is on this side, that part's on that side. I'm going to pull it up, and then I'm going to start tightening. Let's see, and it's all ready. I haven't gotten it tight yet, but it can just barely move, and when I get it good and tight, it's not going to move at all. And there it is. So again, you can see there's no chatter, there's no movement. I'm moving the car and not the hitch. So that worked well. I do like that this can just be, you can just grab it at any time, see if it's not at the right angle, and then if you have to, you can get out a tool and do the other side as well. So that should work, and I'm going to do them both. There's no reason, I don't think there's any reason I can't do these both at the same time. So I will do just that. So the price on this one was $13. It looks pretty darn good. I think it will be useful. I just don't know about keeping it tight. This was a problem I've had with it before. Maybe if you tightened it once a month, you would never have a problem with it again. I don't know. But it works. You know, it obviously works. Now we're going to look at another one. This one is also made by MaxxHaul. It's just a little different shape. And again, it's very similar. So you've got just a big heavy U-bolt, and you've got 2 washers and 2 lock washers, and that's it. That's what the whole thing is. So you just drop it down there. And so you can see right here, this is what is going to make it work. This is going to rest on the collar, and the bolts are going to pull up and pull this against the ball. And so that's how it works. So we'll just put it in and under the collar. So I'm doing it out here, and I'm doing it real loose. Then we'll push it back up, so it's a little easier for me to do. You just push it up. I've got the lock washer on. Push it up, and then you put the regular fender washer on it. Hold it up, then the lock washer up, and then you just get it started. And then push it forward, tighten it down evenly. It's already much tighter. And that's it. So now it's going to hold it. Again, I'm moving the car. The hitch isn't budging. So this is basically just exactly the same thing. Seems a little beefier to me. But whether it'll work better or not, I don't know which one will be the best. So this one that's on here now was only $9, so it was by far the cheapest of the 3. But the most expensive was $15, and it had a $2 off coupon. It's just, chump change, really. And worth it. You're not going to get the bike wobbling. Your bike isn't going to wobble back and forth like that, or whatever you're on your hitch haul. Your trailer's not going to flop around. This is a really good thing. And I'll kind of drive around with them and compare them all, and I'll come back and let you know which one I like the best. All right, as I'm reaching the end of testing these different hitch tighteners, I really like this one. The one word of warning I'd give you is if you change your hitch often, so instead of having a ball, you take the ball off and you put on a hitch haul, a basket at the end, and then you use that for a while, and then you put the ball back in. If you change this often, this thing becomes tedious because you got to get your tools out every time and pull this bolt off. And I did find that tedious, and so I think I'm going to leave one on for like 6 months at a time and then change, and then this is fine. That's no big deal. That's just something to be aware of, that it can be a little bit on the tedious side if you have to be changing this thing all the time. Otherwise, it works super well, and it's very cheap, so it just works great. And it works in conjunction with the others, so you have 2 things going on at once, and it just keeps the hitch from bouncing around much at all. So I really like it, but be aware of that one warning. So here's my final thoughts on the hitch tightener things. I have the 2 of them in now. Like I said earlier, if you change it a lot, you probably don't want to use either of these, because you've got to get a tool out and change them. Now, maybe that doesn't bother you. If you're changing them really often, it would bother me, and so I'm not sure that I would keep using them. But I put like a ball on, and it's on there for 6 months at a time, and then usually I'll put in a hitch haul while I'm traveling. So it's not an issue to me at all. It's also very easy to change them. And really, the only tool you need is a simple adjustable wrench. And if you don't own one, you should go down to Walmart and buy a cheap one and have it in your glove box, because an adjustable wrench is an incredibly useful tool to do a lot of things. But it does really tighten it down. It stops the bouncing. It stops most of all of the swaying. And it's well worth these few dollars. If this is a problem you have, this is a very good and reasonably cheap solution. You only need 1 tool. Of course, if you have a socket set, it's faster and easier, but anybody can afford this. So I highly recommend it. And if it's a problem you've been having, simple and easy solution. Again, if we can put men on the moon, we should be able to solve this, and we have. Man, that's just amazing, huh? Okay, I hope you got something out of this little tiny video. Insignificant, probably, but it can be very annoying. If you got anything out of it, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends about this channel. That would be the very best thing you could do. Tell your family, your friends you found this channel and it's been meaningful to you and helpful. And I'll see you on the very next video. See you then.